Yeah, so hello everyone. I'm Brian Leung from Hong Kong, and I'm an independent researcher of Southeast Asian currency. So I want to briefly talk about why does Chinese legend occur on a Siamese commemorative coin. So I want to start with talking about the situation of Southeast Asia.
Brian, sorry. Could you please make your presentation a full screen?
Okay. Sorry, wait a minute.
Yeah, slideshow.
Okay.
From beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry for that. And now I want to talk about the situation of Southeast Asia. So briefly speaking, the Southeast Asia is an Indosphere, which most of the states are Indianized states. Except Vietnam, most of the Southeast Asian countries would use a language similar to Indian script. And Thailand or Siam is not exceptional. Thailand is an Indianized state and its language is completely different from China. So these are some of the common Thai coins. We can see the script. It is basically completely different from Chinese. But Taming Tongpo is quite exceptional. And that's what I try to present in this presentation. Why does Chinese legend occur? And I want to give some brief information first. The purpose is that Taming Tongpo is minted in 1864 to celebrate the 60th birthday of Mongkut. The obverse is the private seal of the monarch, while the reverse, there would be a Thai legend, Krung Siam, and also the Chinese legend, Taming Tongpo. So let me talk briefly about what's the meaning of Taming Tongpo. Taming is the Chinese name of Mongkut. After overthrowing the monarch Taksin, who had a Chinese legend, the founder of a new dynasty did not inform the Chinese Empire and pretended to be the son of Taksin, and thus he used a Chinese name with a surname Tay, which is the same as Taksin. This practice continued until Mongkut. While Tong Bao, the meaning would be circulating treasure. So I want to show a Qing veritable record in 1851. And we can see that in the Chinese record, the Siamese king named Mongkut would be Taming in Chinese. And talking about this coin, a lot of Asian numismatists are aware of this coin, and Yikan would be one of them. In one of the most influential Chinese numismatic catalog, illustrated catalog of Chinese coins, Yikan gives such a description. He said the coin is distinctly Siamese and not Chinese. And why Chinese characters are found would be the fact that in 1868, Siam still admitted China's supremacy over its country. But I want to say this is wrong. So Mongkut, the Siamese emperor, stopped sending missions to China after 1853 due to the danger faced by the mission resulting from the Taiping Rebellion, which influenced almost the entire China. Moreover, very importantly, he was dissatisfied with the existing pattern of intercourse between Siam and China. There was a proclamation in 1868 saying that Siam had never imagined itself a tributary state of China. He claimed that the Siamese monarchs in the past were deceived due to lack of understanding in Chinese language and did not realize performing the rituals equal submission. I would say that although Mongkut gave such explanation, he was not totally right. But let me start with my assumption first. By bearing his Chinese name Taming on the commemorative coin, Mongkut demonstrated that he had equal status as the Chinese monarch. Similar practice could be found in Japan and Vietnam. Succeeding Siamese monarchs also adopt this thing in their political culture to glorify the monarchy. So To start with, I want to talk about the Chinese world order before Opium War. The Chinese world order is Sinocentric, and China was assumed to be the most superior state in the order. Non-Chinese states were expected to properly tributary to the Emperor of China. There was only one emperor in China, and others, they would all just be kings. And there is something quite unique in Chinese political culture. As the son of heaven, Chinese monarchs were the only ones who could proclaim era names, in Chinese 年号, and tributary states were supposed to use Chinese era names in their calendars. But although Chinese has some such assumption, surrounding states do not really think so. So I want to quote Vietnam as an example. It is within the Sinosphere, and it understands well about the Chinese political culture. Since in independence from China since the 10th century, all Vietnamese monarchs proclaim themselves emperors and proclaim era names locally. So in the era of Bông Cát, there was also a Vietnamese emperor, and he issued coins to the Thông Bao, which to say that he also had a era name same as the Chinese emperor, and he issued coin to show it, to display it. But this was contradict with the Chinese political culture, and in case Chinese monarchs were aware of it, they would blame the surrounding states. Say during the Tay Son Revolution, a Vietnamese emperor, he declared himself as the heavenly king and emperor and proclaimed a era name. Qianlong was criticized, and he said proclaim an era name different from China was just an insult. So to react to this, Qianlong, the Chinese monarch, he sent army to invade Vietnam, and he issued such a coin. So we can see on the right, there was a coin with the era name of China, Qianlong, Qianlong Tongbao, circulating treasure of Qianlong. And to show it is issued in Vietnam, there was a two Chinese character, An Nam, which is an old name of Vietnam in Chinese language. So we can see there was such a contradiction. On the left, it is a Vietnamese era name on a coin, but on the right, Chinese did not recognize it and issue a coin with Chinese era name. And Siamese attitude towards China is quite interesting. Siamese monarch had a realistic and flexible attitude. They addressed Chinese monarch equally in Thai language, but in Chinese language, Siamese was in the inferior side. So there was a gold leaf letter sent by the Siamese monarch to Chinese. And in the Thai version, the Chinese monarch and Siamese monarch was addressed equally. But in Chinese, he was in the inferior side compared with the Chinese emperor. In fact, contrary to what Mông Cát said in 1868, basically all Siamese kings know Chinese. But because of the fact that China is a stronger country than Siam, when conducting relations with similar strength, say Vietnam, Thai monarchs were addressed equally as the opposite side in both versions of letter. Say, in the case of Vietnam and Siam, it will be in Thai language and in Chinese language, because Vietnam also used Chinese language. So they were addressed equally in countries with similar strength. But after Opium War, the case is totally different. As we all know, in the Opium War, the Chinese Empire was defeated by the British Army. So it does not only affect how the European countries communicate with China, but also the surrounding states, say the Southeast Asian countries, they think in a different way. Say the governor of Hong Kong, John Bowring, he advised Siamese envoy and say Siam is a more powerful country than before. And he said that Siamese king should not go to pay tribute to China anymore. And this is an opportune moment to disrupt tribute. So the Mông Cát, he stopped sending missions to China since 1853. And he quoted Siam's relations with Western powers. to criticize the unequal relationship between Siam and China in the 1868 proclamation. And now we have some idea about the Siamese king Mongkut attitude. So I want to talk about the two character Tong Po. When there are two choices when choosing legends on coins before Tong Po for surrounding states of China. Say the first case would be the Chinese era name, say the Qianlong Tongba, with reverse Annam I say in previous line. And they can also choose some neutral term not related to the monarch of the tributary state. Say in Korea, it would be stable value or a denomination. Or there is a king in Qing dynasty, Wu Sangui. Before his rebellion, he also issued coin without his name, but just Li Yong, which means facilitating circulation. So these are supposed to be some neutral terms. Moreover, the lucky charms did not bear the term Tong Po. So we can say that according to the Chinese world order, it is forbidden to bear era names or monarch names before Tong Po. So it is a book I found which is published in the Qing dynasty. We can see that this is a coin which means the guy who received the coin can be agedly as a turtle or a bird, which means having a long lifespan. So lucky charms do not bear Tong Po because it is offensive to the emperor. And in this case, the Taming Tong Po, by bearing his Chinese name, Taming on the commemorative coin before Tong Po, Mongkut demonstrated that he had equal status as the Chinese monarch. So let me end with the subsequent Siamese monarchs. Say the 5th emperor, Chulai Longkong. He had a hall in the palace, and it was decorated with Chinese characters, 1,000 years, 10,000 years, 1,000 岁, which this greeting was supposed to be exclusively used to greet the Chinese monarch. And also for the 6th emperor of Siam, he insisted that the Chinese language version of the Sino-Siamese Treaty shall title the Siamese monarch as emperor, or else the negotiation could not proceed. The Siamese ambassador insisted that the title was the greatest concern of the Siamese government. This is a modern medal, which is issued in the 1992 by a temple. In this medal titling Chulai Longkong as the 5th emperor, Wu Shi Huangdi in Chinese language. So we can say that Siamese are very concerned and they try to pursue an equal status as the Chinese emperor. So this would be the end of my presentation. Thank you.